In this video, I'm going to read the words of the Honourable Mrs McLaren Morrison, who imported several Asiatic breeds to Britain and was considered the acknowledged authority at that time on Asiatic breeds. There are only 3 photos, but they are incredibly important, and equally important, I think, are the words that she gave us. For so often dates are misrepresented and people talk about the Apso having only come into England in the 1920s, but that is not true. They came long, long before that. So let me read you what she has written. In the cold tableland of Central Asia, nature provides her creatures with ample clothing. We find there in the canine breeds the grand Tibet Mastiff, one mass of gigantic coat, and we find too the little Lhasa Terrier, well protected against the piercing winds, whose way no cities and structures of Western civilization yet have barred. How the Lhasa Terrier lives in his own country, what he does, how he is kept, we know but little of. One of these little Asiatics, which has had the honour to be called the standard dog by experts, was purchased out of a Bhutia's market cart. Unkempt, unwashed, uninviting, and loath to be civilized, he valiantly guarded his vegetables till made reluctantly to understand that he was born for higher things, and that a show career beyond the waters awaited him. Another was brought down from the very interior, sent by a Tibetan, and accompanied by an attendant wreathed in turquoises. Yet another was carried across the saddle for miles and miles. The character of the Lhasa Terrier is true and confiding, not taciturn as some of the other Asiatic breeds. I'm inclined, however, to think that this is really only correct of the English-bred Lhasa Terrier, for the little fellow who came from the market cart was by no means friendly, and for years devoted himself only to one person, whose room and chattels he would defend to grim death. The Lhasa's coat should be long and straight, very profuse and shaggy. Feet large and wide, to tread the snows of the uplands. The size varies a good deal, but the really small ones, though up to recently rarely bred in this country, are most valued in their own and fetch long prices in the East. For the wily Asiatic is fully aware of the value of really good specimens, and the inhabitant of the market cart, Tuko, had to be carefully guarded whilst in his own country, or would promptly have disappeared. Their colours are white and black, iron grey, light grey, buff, brown or buff and white, etc., etc. They have now, by 1906, found many admirers in England, and there is every reason to believe that the shaggy, lovable pet of the llamas will become equally appreciated, if alas not yet equally plentiful, in this part of the world, as in his own mystic home. It has been the good fortune of the writer to see authentic photographs of the dogs in Tibet, taken by the Grand Lama himself. The Lhasa Terrier is but one of several breeds known in Tibet, but the country is yet too much closed for the naturalist to give us deep information in all varieties. The Tibet Spaniel is now also well known in England, and already between 50 and 60 specimens are in Great Britain. The Tibet Spaniel is the true ancestor of all Pekingese, Japanese and English toy spaniels. Of that there can really be no doubt, and as such they are doubly interesting. The monasteries of Tibet enclose many beautiful specimens of this fascinating breed, and the monks know their value well. The black and white and also black and tan variety are now fairly familiar to show visitors, who, however, have yet to learn that self-coloured sable specimens, as well as those of rich tan and ruby, as well as brown, etc., should also soon be found in our shows. In conclusion, let me assure the reader that these various little Asiatics are of a most loving and devoted disposition, showing great sagacity, and by no means difficult to rear in our climate, where they are therefore able to be our constant companions. To know them is to love them. One can but trust that soon they will have the position in England and also in America which they so truly deserve. Thank you for joining me again, and I've now started looking deeply into my shelves to work out what I can put on video for the enjoyment of anyone who loves dogs and is interested in them or maybe shows them throughout the world. Thank you. Bye for now.